Welcome to the From Code to C-Suite podcast.
So I don't really have a preference. I have a set of process that I follow while I interview. So I look for fundamentals. People need to have fundamentals very clear. If you don't have fundamentals, you can make whatever on top of it, but it will break down the line. You know, in business, hiring is not really that big of a problem. Hiring a bad candidate is a bigger problem. There's no bad candidates. It's a bad fit. Right. So you need to make that decision faster rather than sitting around and saying, yes, I spent so much money hiring this person, grooming him to this stage, and then I have to let him go. I would say don't just start working on your ideas, rather find real pain points, real problems that people wants to be answered. No matter how great your ideas are, what bigger problem statement you're trying to solve, if you don't have real network, you will never earn, and you don't have a wealth to support you, you will never see it being developed or being utilized by anyone.
This week, we're joined by Ritesh Kumar, a CTO who scaled engineering teams across the globe from Berlin, New York, Jakarta, and now Dubai. He's built platforms that serve millions, led teams of 100 plus, and delivered scalable solutions across fintech and the AI space. From strategy to execution, Ritesh has seen it all. Let's get into the conversation.
My elders always advise me, like, learn things, utilize it, and then be hungry to learn more.
Ritesh, hello, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Thanks for the podcast. All good. It's going good. How about you? How's the new business, everything?
Very good. Yeah, super busy. Good start to the year, so can't complain actually.
Great.
I was thinking earlier on, it's a bit of a full cycle moment for me and you actually, right? So I remember when we first moved our business over to the Middle East, he was one of the first people that we interacted with and placed into a business. Yeah. Then one of the first managers that we used as a hiring manager, and now first person on the podcast as well. So nice little story in the background.
Yeah. It's a privilege. I mean, it's always good to build relations and then go towards whatever we want to build in the future. It's good to be connected.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Well, look, I obviously know you pretty well. We've worked together in the past. So for anybody that doesn't know you, can you give us a bit of a background of your history and what you're doing right now at this moment in time?
Yeah. I call myself as a product-oriented technology leader. I have over 14 years of experience deep in technology. My expertise lie in building and scaling infrastructures tailored for fast-growing startups. I had the luxury to actually work across major technical hubs, be it from Dubai and Berlin to Jakarta and New York. So, and leading team across various sectors like e-commerce, fintech, marketplaces, AI recently, as you are aware, I have already done that, and little bit of Web3. That's what I have been doing. So my journey has led me through being a software developer to an executive leadership role, and ultimately to building my own companies. And I'm happy to say that my company has built multiple solutions for the government sector and the enterprise sector. And during this entire journey, I have worked with really wonderful people who have shaped the way I think, the way I presume things, and how I carry my business toward. Yeah.
Nice.
If you want to talk about what I'm focused today I focus mostly on leveraging technology to build large scale, to solve large scale problems, building the gap between innovation and execution.
Nice. Yeah. Good story. So I didn't realize actually, so you've worked in different places. So obviously India, right? Dubai right now. You mentioned Jakarta, you mentioned New York and Berlin. So are these teams that you remotely looked after there, or these locations that you actually was living and you spent time in those places, or was it all remote?
Yeah, I was living in all these places, and
Really?
I was also handling teams across the globe remotely. So luckily, all the jobs that I took in, it helped me go across the world, understand the culture, and that actually shaped me how I think as a leader.
Yeah.
So and also, I mean, remote has been always something which helped me grow or understand people, because most of my team members, like I used to handle a team which is located regionally there, and then there was team members across like globe, and I had to manage all of them. So yes, remote has played a very good role in shaping how I think and execute things.
Where has been your favorite place that you've lived to work out of the
To work?
States, out of Dubai, out of Berlin, stuff like that? Where's been your favorite?
So to work, I would say so far Dubai has been very promising. if I had to relax, or I was in a very, very senior position of my, I was like almost done with most of the things and I wanted to relax, I would say Berlin.
Yeah.
Yes, it's hassling, but see, I'll be blunt about it. We are Asians, so we Asians try to be hustling a lot of things.
Yeah.
And me working in bigger organizations and then coming to a startup culture, I have that urge of keep doing some things. I can't stay idle like, oh, this is a problem statement. I'm working on it for 6 months. So if you want to build on something like R&D types and you have luxury of time, yes, I would prefer Berlin. But other than that, I would say Asian countries, Dubai have been doing exceptionally well in this way. Yeah.
Bit of a cheeky question, but where do you think, from your experience so far, the best engineers are based?
Wow, that's a tough one. I would say everywhere you find good people. It's just that as a leader, you have to find out what is best for each of them and then get it out of it. So I wouldn't say it is localized anywhere. It's spread across. It's about how you extract that knowledge out of them.
Nice. Do you think there's been big cultural nuances between different places, like managing teams in different locations?
Definitely. I'll tell you one of the experiences. I worked with multiple Egyptians, and the biggest cultural shock that came to me when first I started working with them was anything that you try to be like logical without giving them a background, it will be opposed. So they are more of a what do you call well-knit culture wherein you will have to first get to know them, understand how they think, and then put across those words which make sense to them. And once they do it, they get onboarded. They will take it like it is their family business, and they will run across.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a learning, but I love working with them.
I feel that's quite an Arabic thing, actually, isn't it? Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Obviously, you've done lots of different things. You've worked. You mentioned government projects. You mentioned Web3, AI, things like that, and specifically, around the startup space. What do you prefer? You've obviously been drawn to startups most recently, but what do you prefer? Do you prefer working in larger organizations, startups? What's been your preference?
My preference is going to be startup. So I did juggling in between, if you look at my career ladder that I have gone through. So I started with multinational companies, and then I switched to a startup. I worked there for almost 5 years. I took it from 0 stage to 1,000 plus employees. Wow. And then I was like, okay, let's switch it up. So I joined a big company in Germany, which is, of course, Delivery Hero. I worked there for 1.5 years, and then I realized maybe big companies are not there for me. I mean, it doesn't really bring out my potential. So I decided startup is what works for me. And it has been fundamentally really doing really well.
Nice.
So yeah, startup.
Awesome. What sparked your first interest in technology? How did you get into it? And
Okay, that's an interesting one. So, I mean, I tell this story to all of my friends and they laugh about it, but this is how it started. I call myself a lazy person. I am a lazy person. And I want to continue being a lazy person.
Yeah.
So to do that...
Let's not tell your current boss that quite that.
Yeah. So in order to do that, what you'll have to do is figure out innovative ways to optimize things, right?
Yeah.
And that naturally leads you towards problem solving. And that's what. So the best playground that I could find was technology, where I could like implement whatever I used to think. And technology plays no favor. Whatever you input is what you get as an output. So I started tinkering with code quite early in my years. Like in school age, I started automating a couple of stuffs using Perl. I don't know how many people even remember that. So we were using technologies like Perl to automate stuffs. And once I started seeing that code becomes live, once it is completed, I was like, oh, I'm hooked to this. And that's why I decided like formally go through this phase and get the maximum benefit out of technology.
I actually don't know Perl. What is that? Is that a server-side technology?
It's a scripting language. So early phases of, I don't know, that might bring up a controversy, but yeah, we could say it's early stage Python. But Perl was very powerful. Still people use it, but not to that extent.
Okay, makes sense. And obviously you got into it at a pretty early age of an interest, but in terms of schooling, education, do you have a degree in computer science, for example, or did you just learn by yourself?
Yeah, so it's a bit of both. I do have my formal education in BTech, specialized in computer science. So I got most of my fundamentals from there, and academically, I have been doing pretty well. So I had to go through that phase to really understand the things. Like, things in tit and bit, broken pieces, but uh, getting that formal education gives you the fundamentals. But what has been a game changer is self-learning. You should never stop at just getting a degree and then stop learning. You should always be learning. So most of my practical skills have come from working on real-life projects, solving problems, and learning from my fellow mates. So yeah, I would say you should have a formal education for the fundamentals, but you should continue learning across your life.
Nice, makes sense. I see a lot of people that have come obviously from a computer science background degree, but now also so many people are self-taught. You've got so many good things. You've got YouTube, so many books and all this kind of stuff that you can learn from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes it very easy. I mean, from education, you get education. It's not real life skills that you are getting until you get your hand dirty, right? And then when you start learning things, you realize there are a lot more things which you are not aware of. And then this YouTube has brought up so many good educators, and they have a different way of presenting their thoughts, right? So for me, a particular style might attract. For someone else, something else might work. So you can find your own educator and you can get educated from there and execute.
Even for me, like I did business at university, but I honestly feel like I've learned so much post that on university that I never learned before. YouTube is honestly great, I think.
Exactly.
When for you hiring actually on the computer science degree stuff, would you ever favor anybody that's come from that previously, or are you completely happy to view someone that doesn't have a computer science degree against someone that's self-taught? Do you have any preference?
Again, that's a very interesting question. So I don't really have a preference. I have a set of process that I follow while I interview. So I look for fundamentals. People need to have fundamentals very clear. If you don't have fundamentals, you can make whatever on top of it, but it will break down the line. So I look for people having fundamental knowledge, whether it is self-taught or it is through education. I don't have a preference.
Nice. Okay, cool. And then going back to your first job you ever had inside of tech, obviously you had the degree, etc. How did you land your first job, and who was your first job with?
Oh, okay. So it was easy for me. So I followed the typical hierarchy of stuffs that is being done in an Asian culture.
Yeah.
So I did my education, I did my degree, and from degree I was able to land my first job through campus selection. Yeah. So that formal education did help me, but again, as I said, I started tinkering with code quite early. I had put a lot of effort in learning algos and data structures. My seniors who were already placed in jobs, they advised me, yes, you should get your hands dirty here. So learning that really gave me an edge over other candidates, and that's how I secured my first job.
Yeah. And sorry, what was the company then, the first one you got into?
So the first company that I accepted the offer, I had offers from multiple companies, but I accepted an offer from a company called Unisys. They build big projects of US militaries.
I'm going to say they're a big firm, right?
Exactly. It's a very big firm.
Yeah, nice. How did you find it working there?
It was good. I learned the nuances of handling teams, how to interact with your seniors and all those stuff. So that was an eye-opener for me, how the enterprises run.
Yeah. And what was your journey then? So obviously you started off, I'm assuming, as a junior software engineer, then scaled your way up. How long was you in that company for, and how long did it take you to get to a senior, to a principal, to a team lead, things like that?
Okay. So this was interesting. So I joined there as a software developer. But during like over 6 months of period working there, I was also thrown into manual testing. So that's the first time I did testing. And that's a very thin line between a tester and a developer. So if you are a person who just builds, you will never have that knowledge of what all stuffs I need to do to break this thing, right?
Yeah.
So I got an opportunity to work as a QA engineer for like 2 months, and then since I came from a development background, I was able to propose to them an automation framework. So I took 3 months to build an automation framework around it and automated that stuff. So, and then I there were multiple courses, diploma kind of micro degrees that I persuaded, like Java, and then other prominent web development technologies. I learned those all together, and I started using that in my projects. I worked in Unisys around 1.6 years, and then I got a jump. So I started looking around. I mean, like, my elders have already always advised me, like, learn things, utilize it, and then be hungry to learn more. So at that point, I had already realized, like, I have grasped enough. I think I should try something else because I need to widen my knowledge.
Yeah.
So I started looking out, and luckily I was able to get a job in Goldman Sachs. And again, it's a bigger fintech firm. So I had exposure to multiple things, which was just jumping out of my head. So that's where first time I got the chance to actually lead a team as well,
Nice.
across Hong Kong and New York. And I worked very closely to my VP and my MDs, and they were already looking at re-architecting few things. So when I was working with my VP, I understood many things there, and I was like, hey, why don't we do this? They are like, oh, we are scared to do this. What breaks? We don't know.
Yeah.
And I was early in my career. I was like, I can take a chance. So I just deployed it.
Nice. So it sounds like you did a lot of work outside of your normal job, right? To
Yes.
advance your skills, to learn new technologies, things like that. How
Yes.
important would you say that is, or has been for you, but also for other people? Like, how important is that really?
It's very important. I advise to all the new hires that I have, anyone who I'm mentoring, I always advise them, like, yes, job is there. You are working on something. There's a time period that you work on that. And what is expected out of you is to deliver things, not to sit on a project, think about it, learn like 100 things which is not relevant right now. You have to deliver. So deliver that. But from that, you have to bring out some questions which you have to learn in your own free time, because you have to extend your knowledge. Right now, you just impart the knowledge that you have got from learning and execute things, but then go deep into it.
Yeah.
Once you have a in-depth knowledge, you can do wonders.
Yeah. I think it's so important, actually. So some of the clients that we'll work with, they actually say to us, can you please try and find people that have got a growth mindset and they work outside of work, they want to learn new technologies. Because if you're only working on a specific stack in the same company for a long period of time, then you're not going to learn anything outside of that.
Exactly.
But equally, sometimes I speak to software engineers and they say, oh no, I don't work outside of work. But you're not learning anything new then, right? Are you?
Exactly.
So it's super
And
important.
they tend to go into a closed mindset. They will not be open to any feedbacks. I've seen this a lot in technical companies, wherein I suggest a developer, hey, why don't you do it in this way? And the typical reply would be, this is the code structure how people have been following for years. Why should I change? Right?
Things change so quick in tech. Though.
Exactly.
Every week there's something else that changes.
True. So yeah, I mean, you will have to learn stuff from your surroundings. You have to adapt.
Yeah.
In technology, you need to be adaptive. You have to keep exploring what's new in the market. Otherwise, you are irrelevant. Like in 6 months.
Yeah, makes sense. Back to your journey then. So you started off as a junior, you leveled up when you was at Unisys, then went to a new government consultancy business, and then from there you turned into leadership.
Yeah.
Was that always something that you wanted to do? You always wanted to be a leader? Because it seems like it happened pretty quick, actually. So is that always been in the pipeline?
No. Frankly speaking, see, as I said, I'm quite good from my education side and all, and I have been a person who follows a straight path, right? So I was doing that, and like any other good developer, I would be like, oh, I want to deliver the best code possible, right? But then I realized, like, this is not something that has to be done, because there are great many brilliant developers who on a daily basis have been shipping good projects, right? But they fail when they have to mentor their juniors, or they have to articulate their ideas well, and this really causes a bottleneck, right? Because if you are not able to articulate your ideas, your leader will not understand what you're trying to do. And typically what used to happen in earlier days were there used to be leaders who are just MBA qualified. They don't come from a technology background, so they don't really understand. Like, if you say something, I would understand it in a different way, and I will give this to my upper management in a totally different way altogether, right? So I understood, to make a real impact, I had to move beyond just writing good code to building teams, building projects, and that's how I was like, okay, I should move towards leadership. I could impart more more to the culture altogether. So and leadership to me, to be frank, is working on bigger or wider obstacles, not just working on the code altogether.
Yeah.
So like I could work on tech strategy, I can enable my team to do something, I can mentor people, and that actually pushed me towards leadership. I was like, yes, I think this is area which is lacking right now, and I can add value to it. So that's how I stepped into it. And I always love to mentor my juniors and help them grow their career. So yeah, that led to choosing a leadership.
How would you describe your leadership style? Would you say you're hands-on when it comes to coding still, or hands-off? Like, how do you normally like to do leadership?
Okay, so I don't portray myself to be hands-on for my teammates, but I'm pretty hands-on because that gives me that edge from any other leader. And I try to code in my free time, evaluate new technologies, do some POCs around it. That helps me make informed decisions in the leadership ladder. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to team members and all, I tend to be not that hands-on on a day-to-day coding level. I tend to enable them, give them the architecture, the tools that is necessary, and empower them to actually deliver it. So that's a mixed approach wherein I am hands-on in the background, but I don't force those things on my team members. I rather empower them. I give them the tools. I foresee what is going to happen and help them grow in that area.
Do you feel that's quite fulfilling when you've mentored people, they start working things out, they do extremely well, and you've obviously built a product at the end of it, right? It's quite nice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, many of the people that I have mentored, they are now in leadership roles actually, and they are co-developers. I don't know. I mean, they are so well in their technical work that they could be a principal developer, but they got so influenced by the way I mentored them. They all chose to be a leader, and they are all tech leads, engineering managers in various companies.
Nice.
So yeah, it really makes me happy that yes, now leadership roles are being fulfilled by technical people.
You must have built a pretty good network, right? Because I feel like if someone teaches you so much, you're quite loyal to that person. So I imagine you've got quite a good network of other people in your industry as well.
Yeah. So I in fact tend to work more with people I have worked in my past, or people who are being endorsed by the people I have worked in past. So yeah, my network is pretty huge in terms of engineers.
Nice. Yeah. When did you land your first CTO role? What business was that?
I think the first one was again a Dubai-based company. It was called. I'm forgetting the name. I worked there for 1.5 years. That was my first hands-on CTO role, wherein I had to come in. There was no technical leader for strategies and all. It was doing miserable in terms of code. Like they were lacking 6 months behind from what they had to ship, and I was thrown in that chaos. So I had to handle everything, structures, strategy-wise, and then actually deliver things. So we were able to tackle that within 1.5 months. So that was my first CTO role. Yeah.
Nice. What's been the most challenging role you've had so far?
Most challenging, I would say everything has been challenging till this point. But the thing is, every step that I take further, I get to learn new things. I have been thrown into such situations where I have never been put, and I had to use my problem-solving skills, learn that, and adapt to it. So I would say, yeah, every step has been a learning step for me.
Nice. And obviously, you started your own business. You're quite entrepreneurial. We spoke about this before. What were the biggest challenges when you've actually started up your own business? Going from somebody that's worked in a company before, been a software engineer, like what are the biggest challenges you faced when you did start something yourself?
Okay, that's an interesting one. So I would say I don't know about others, but for me, first step was actually having faith in myself that yes, I can do something apart from what I have been doing so far. That was the first challenge. And then second challenge, again, being technical, is that I always tend to think about logic, codes, and all those things. So coming out of that mindset to a business mindset, wherein you have to zoom out and you have to think about a lot of stuffs like your business plan, your hirings, your budgets, and all those things. That was something that was challenging for me. Though it was challenging, it was quite fruitful as well. So yeah, I would say
it's such a different role, isn't it? I feel like some positions where people form into entrepreneurs off the back of their previous history. I think as a software engineer that's gone through that and gone through leadership, gone through CTO, it's such a different role, especially when you're looking at finances and things. It's very, very different.
Exactly. It's like a new world. The terminology is completely different, and the nuances are different, and the impact is different.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nice. I know you've done a few different things as an entrepreneur yourself. What have you got? Any stories which have unfortunately failed, like they haven't worked out how you wanted them to, or any that have been super successful?
I would rather take this experience as a learning for me. So since again coming from a technical background, not having the typical knowledge that you should have as a founder, we started executing things before even setting up legal and the compliance aspects of it. So we delivered some of the things without even taking payments, without even having the contracts in place, and then they ended up cheating us there. So that was a big hit that we took. And a very good learning for us. Like before even executing things, since we are so technical, we are confident on what we can deliver. But then you have to set up processes in place so that your business has been safeguarded. That was one learning.
I honestly feel exactly the same. That is one of the toughest things that I had to face. So working in a larger organization previously, where I'm client facing, I'm placing candidates into roles, etc., building teams, but I never had any exposure to the back office, right? So when I had to do that myself, reading through contracts, knowing laws and regulations, it's pretty confusing, also quite scary, I think.
Because the interpretations are also different, by the way.
Yeah.
Like I would interpret it something else, and the other person would do it in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's challenging.
Especially when, for example, for yourself, right, you've worked in different locations, New York, Berlin, etc. They all have different rules, all have different regulations, different currencies, payment terms, so it's very difficult.
True.
What was the pivotal moment when you realized you've been onto a good project, you've been onto a successful business?
There had been multiple pivotal situations, but the first one would be the first project that we took in. We started working on that. The timelines were ridiculous, to be honest, but I had faith in myself and my team, though my team didn't have that we can deliver it in that moment with the quality that we wanted to deliver. We did that, and customers started using our products. They were giving very good feedbacks about it. We took in all the feedbacks and improved over it. Seeing the first conversion happening, that was a pivotal moment for us to make us understand, yes.
Which business is this for?
So we were building softwares for governments, big shots. I can't take those names because of NDAs, but we have built multiple projects for governments and big organizations.
Nice.
Yeah.
And was that back in India, was it?
No, so this started long back, to be honest. India, I left pretty soon after my education. So this was, part of it started at New York, and then I continued it over Germany, Jakarta, and all those things, and lately in UAE as well.
Okay. How did you scale your business and grow your team? What was your plan of action when it comes to hiring?
Okay. So for scaling your business, there are two aspects to it. One is your people, and the other one is your technology. So in terms of technology, I would say having a good architecture around whatever you're building, so that it scales up and doesn't become a bottleneck, which is what you would have seen in any other business. Like, in fact, if you're a founder and you ask a tech team to build something to you, they will ship something, but under the core there will be a lot of tech debt items, right? So you need to have a fundamentally good architecture around it. And the second is about people. So for people, as I said earlier, I tend to rely on my close associates or people who have been endorsed by those associates. That gives a very early stage understanding between the people. They are fine-tuned to what you are thinking. And I would say network is the biggest factor that helps your business grow.
Yeah. I think hiring is actually one of the toughest things.
Yes.
And this is coming from me being a recruiter and obviously hired for lots and lots of different companies and different people. But even for myself now, we're trying to build our business in this region. I'm trying to hire people for myself. And it's quite ironic that I've specialized in helping other people and other businesses, but when I'm doing it for myself, I find it so hard to actually hire.
Yes.
And I really have to put myself in other people's shoes, and I'm working with them as well to understand how difficult hiring is.
Exactly. And in business, hiring is not really that big of a problem hiring a bad candidate is a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So you spend whatever time you want to spend before getting someone onboarded, then realizing later, oh, I made a very big mistake, right?
There's lots of different slogans, isn't there? I think one I heard the other day, or I've heard a few times before, is hire slow, fire fast.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you follow that you think is super true?
It's true. So see, I will tell you, it helps both the parties. When you realize, like, you are working with someone and you have put in enough effort to I mean there would be bad communication between the two, and maybe you're not able to understand what he's going through. So there is a what do you call time period you should spend with him to understand what are the problems, what are the concerns between both the parties, and try to solve it. But if you realize that is not solvable, you should move forward fast. It helps them also to go to a new organization and work where they can really shine. Again, there's no bad candidates, it's a bad fit. Right? So you need to make the decision faster rather than sitting around and saying, yes, I spent so much money hiring this person, grooming him to this stage, and then I have to let him go. No, you have to.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you think it's been easier to lead people, mentor people, etc., if they've worked in the office alongside you, or if they've been remotely, or do you think it's not really been much of an issue?
Okay, so this might create a debate. Again, this is my personal favorite. So if you are a startup who has just set up everything and you are building things in a very, very early stage, 0 to 1 stage, then it makes sense that you get people in front of you, because then the decision making happens quite fast, the bonding happens fast. So these are, I call this first employees as your building blocks. So you need to have that rapport with the entire team so that they understand each other, they are fine tuned, right? But once you start growing or scaling, and you are still bound to this idea, like, no, I want everyone 24/7 present in front of me to realize that they are doing their work. Sorry, that is not how it works. You need to give them space to grow. So again, I would prefer if someone is junior and he has to get some experience from a senior folk, that yes, you both come to the office, collaborate together so that you are able to unblock each other. But then there is a sweet spot where people understand what they need to do, and company knows that this guy can perform what he is performing. You need to give them space. They can work from anywhere at any time. There is a lot of tools that helps you coordinate between teams. So utilize those tools and get better advantage out of it, rather than having a very flashy building with all the gaming tools and all. I mean, just to justify that expenditure, if you're calling your team members to office, I think that's BS.
Makes sense. Especially because you've specialized in the startup space over the past few years, for sure. That normally involves growing teams that are small, scaling teams, etc. Laying the foundations in a team when you first start. Would you prefer either hiring senior engineers that might be able to come in and hit the ground running, but they might not have had the right culture, or maybe they don't fit perfectly culturally, but they can hit the ground running, they're very good at coding? Or would you prefer to hire a junior that maybe isn't as technically strong, but can really mold into your culture as a business, and you can mentor them, teach them your way? What's been your preferred way to go on that?
For me, culture has been the number one factor. Again, I said there is never a bad candidate. It's upon you how you mentor them or coach them around. So I would prefer a junior person who is culturally good with for us, rather than having an arrogant person coming to your business, building stuffs in whatever way he's building, and then creating a bad culture around it, because that can't be scaled. If you are struggling with good technical people, so there are good dev houses you can leverage. You can give them this work and have a good technical co-founder who can actually manage them. So
what would you say the biggest lessons you've learned along the way when it comes to being in a leadership role? Sorry,
there are multiple. Let me see. So I would say the first one is about understanding what leader is. Many people have a wrong mentality that a leader needs to know all the answers. That's not right. A leader needs to know what are the right questions, and then empowering your team to find out the best solution for it. That is one lesson that I learned. Second was delegation, and this is something I want to stress a lot on: delegation. Right. So earlier on, I tend to do everything or oversee everything, like what is going on, and that used to really suck in all my energy. That is not what you should be doing. Rather, you should delegate stuffs to people and let them grow. That's one of the route which people take to grow themselves in career as well. So you empower them, you give them the right tools, and they run through it. So delegate whatever you can, right? And again, there are multiple strategies of doing that. I don't want to go into nuances of that. It will take another session for you. And there's one more. I think people don't understand the value of it, but over communicating. Because being a leader, I would assume my team members understand.
Over communicating, do you mean like micromanaging?
No. Over communicating. So this is way different than micromanaging.
Okay.
So over communicating is like, I'm expecting something out of you. I should not assume that you already understand it, right? Rather, I will keep communicating to you like, hey, Liam, this is what I'm expecting. This is how I want it to be done in probably, this is the timeline. Now you figure out the ways that you want to do it. Then maybe you have a milestone, you reach that milestone, and then you re-communicate saying that this is what I was expecting. Is this something that you are doing? Or maybe we are not aligned at what we are communicating. So you need to keep communicating it again and again to the team to make them understand this is what I am thinking of. If there is a disconnect, we should talk, and then that clarifies. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Micromanagement is something altogether different, and I am strongly against it.
Yeah, understood. Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so in regards to tech at the moment, what do you think the biggest what are the biggest shifts you've seen in tech over the last few years?
There are multiple, but I would say AI and automation is the biggest one. So it started with something like a good to have feature, right? Everyone was talking about like, oh, okay, we should use ChatGPT. It's good. We will do it on a daily basis. But now you can't run away from it. It can't be sidelined. It has become the core engine of your products, personalizing things and automating stuff. So I think AI is the biggest trend breaker. You should pay attention to. And the second one, again, because I have already faced that, compliance and regulatory stuff, regulatory tech is something that is emerging quite fast. You can't really build a business without paying attention to this from the early stages.
Okay. Specifically for fintech, how do you see fintech and AI evolving together over the next couple of years?
I would say they gel quite well. Earlier, AI was used in fintech for your backend processes and all, but now over the next 5 years, how it's going to evolve is that it will take the center stage, wherein AI will be the center stage of building your what do you call the front end applications. In fact, like your compliance will be run through it, AI driven credit scores would be run through it. So I think yes, in terms of fintech and AI, they are on a crash course wherein they will define a new path how fintech has been envisioned so far. Like and from the fintech side, micro finance will continue to grow, but payments and other finance applications will embed so well in non-financial applications that the gap will not be seen to a real user based on how you are operating on a daily basis. Like whatever activities you are doing, AI will automate that, and it will give you personalized suggestions on your wealth management and all those stuffs. That's what I'm looking at down the line.
Nice. I feel like this is quite a controversial topic. Some people are quite scared of it. Some people are super happy about this. Do you feel that using an AI as an enhancement for developers in your team, will you reduce head count in terms of size because AI can do that? Or do you feel that it would just mean you move things quicker and more effectively? How do you see the team build moving forward when you are starting in startups?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of AI. It's similar to any other evolution that has happened. from long back. Yes, you can relate it to how personal computers came into play, right? So it will help fasten your stuffs. People should adapt to it. They need to understand and how they can utilize it to make themselves more efficient. Again, having a direct relation to using AI versus cutting headcounts, I don't see that is relevant anymore. Yes, but people who have not upskilled themselves, they become irrelevant and they will have to let go. Otherwise, they will have to upgrade themselves so that they are well equipped for the future. That's how I look into it.
Makes sense. In terms of upskilling on AI, how could you recommend someone to make sure that they do stay up to date with everything that they need to?
There's a lot. Even in my last post, I was just talking about it. Like, you open anywhere on a platform, you will see everyone is a AI guru nowadays. But there's a lot to learn. I would say looking to Hugging Face. Hugging Face is where I started learning stuff. They have their own courses. You go through that, understand what is machine learning, what is an NPL, what are transformers, and all those things. So learn some of the fundamental blocks, and also understand AI is not just data scientists. Based on what is your background, you have a different path that you have to follow. Like, if you are making your own model, then yes, you need to have a machine learning certification done, or that expertise has to be there. But for me, I am not building any models. I am building, but on a daily basis, I'm not doing that. And it's a huge task. I would rather let big companies do that for me, and then I will fine tune it for my own purposes.
Yeah.
So there are various learning paths that is tailored for your typical users. So you will have to figure that out and only then jump into that. Don't just go behind the buzzword and start using everything. You will have to follow a path to understand how things are really working.
How do you think the tech structure will change in the business? So, for example, I was speaking to somebody last week who is very invested in AI, and they seem to think that front-end technologies, which is JavaScript, evolved around that. They think that roles might not be in such high demand for user interface, etc., but server side would still stay pretty strong. Lots of people are going to be moving towards a Python technology stack, and obviously around data science, machine learning, AI, etc., etc. Do you agree with that? Do you think that's going to be the case?
Not completely. Again, because I have tried a lot using all the different, and I'm not a front end guy. I just use it just to get the things done. So I also tinkered with whatever I had available. Yes, it will cut down like your template building and all those things, boilerplate code, that will be cut down through AI. But if you don't have that expertise, you will get something which is thrown out from AI model, and you productionize it, and then something breaks, you don't know what has to be fixed. So there is a what do you call 80-20 mix that you will probably have to use. 80% you can leverage AI, but you need to have that expertise who can really see what needs to be optimized, what is broken, how do you fix it, and all those things. Yeah,
makes sense.
Like there's a term that has been going around, vibe coding, right? People have been doing that, and then recently many founders, they are just claiming they don't need a tech team at all, they don't need a tech co-founder.
People are just going to use AI agents to do everything, right?
That's not possible. Even to build AI agents, you are using engineers. So I don't see.
I also think for that, for example, I appreciate that could be super cost effective. But if you're an entrepreneur and you want to build a business, if you're just building a business by yourself and everything else is an AI agent, it's not very, I don't know, I don't feel inspired by that. You might be able to make a lot of money, but building a team, I think part of the fun of it is people that you're going to be working with, scaling the team, adding headcount, and then having fun like that. But it's difficult, I think.
Exactly. And again, this is not something which is new. You already have languages, the third generation languages, where for front end, your entire front end, you are just doing drag and drop, and code has been taken care in the background. So it was already there. Why do you think people still have developers? So it's just a buzzword, the bubble that people are hyping it up. There is some part of truth attached to it, but there's a lot that has to be figured out.
When it comes to, interesting question actually, so when it comes to interview processes and you're looking to hire for your team, you might send them a technical exercise, etc. If they are using AI enhancements for that, are you completely okay, or you ask them do not use it, or do you think that's a good thing?
I would say it's okay, because on a daily basis, in fact, forget about when AI was there, you still had Stack Overflow, right, which used to help you with everything related to development. And on a daily basis, your developers are going to use that. They are going to use Google, right? What I want from my new hires is that leverage whatever tools is available to you, but get something delivered what I'm expecting. If you're able to do that, I'm more than happy.
Which do you think are the best at the moment, the best AI tools that a developer could use?
There are multiple. Cursor has been used by most of the developers. I tend to run my own custom models to fine tune it, but many of my developers have been using Cursor. And plain chat GPT also works. In fact, Cloud is better compared to coding capabilities than chat GPT. But yeah, people are mixing with multiple, what do you call, wrapper level solutions like Cursor and all, or they are using plain old chat GPT, OpenAI for making the things work that they want to.
Nice, makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, before we wrap this up, what advice do you have for aspiring tech founders?
Oh, interesting. I would say you need to, firstly, you need to be a master of your craft, because being technical gives you an edge over everyone else, because you're able to look into you are able to identify gaps which no one else would have figured out, right? And if you look into multiple successful businesses, there are some of the founders who build businesses around a single gap that was identified in a existing solution, and people are using it. That is one example of it. Secondly, I would say don't just start working on your ideas, rather find real pain points, real problems that people wants to be answered, and then do your groundwork, see product market fit, what is the demand, and leverage your network and your team. They are your biggest assets. Yeah.
Do you think then, so I guess some people jump straight into entrepreneurship, right? They can have such a great idea, they finish university, but they've not really had the experience of working in a commercial environment.
Yes.
Maybe never even a startup, which I think is probably the closest to being an entrepreneur yourself.
Yes.
Would you recommend people to do the test of time in large organizations or startups before they start their own company?
Yes, I always advocate doing that, because until you know how the things are working and you jump in, there's a lot many variables that you have to tackle, rather than experiencing thing at first hand. There are multiple opportunities, like you can be the chief of staff working very close to your CEOs, understand how the things are working, and then utilize those knowledge in your ideas that you want to build in future. Don't just jump straight. And again, one thing which I want to emphasize is like, no matter how great your ideas are, or what bigger problem statement you're trying to solve, if you don't have real network, you will never, and you don't have a wealth to support you, you will never see see it being developed or being utilized by anyone.
Awesome. Yeah. Good advice. Ritesh, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. It's been great to have you on the podcast.
Thank you. It was Liam. It was a great pleasure to be here.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Thank you.